Hi, I'm Jesse McElreath here with Coach Standard. This sports broadcast, episode 2. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Good.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. Let's jump right into it. Did you plan on being a football coach?
Not originally. When I graduated from high school, I went to the Citadel, and I thought I was going to make the military a career. But while I was in college, my old high school, St. Pius X, the head coach there, who's the reason that I ended up getting into coaching, George Maloof, needed help coaching during the spring and the summer. So I went back during my time in college before I had to report back each year, and I worked, and then I got the bug. And by the time I was a senior in college, I had made the decision then that I wanted to pursue coaching, teaching and coaching in high school. So it wasn't my original plan, but after doing it for 4 summers at my old high school is what got me interested in wanting to do that.
Okay. What was your dream job as a kid?
Well, I thought, all my family was in medicine, in some field in medicine, so I thought I wanted to be a doctor, but that was quickly changed once I got the coaching bug. And so that's what I thought I wanted to be. Then I thought I wanted to make the military career, and I was in the Army Reserve for 10 years, and I enjoyed that, but I wanted to be a teacher and a coach.
Did you want to be a football coach, or what did you want to be?
Well, I really enjoyed coaching several sports. At one point in my career, I was a football coach, basketball coach, and a baseball coach. And I coached all 3 sports for several years until we had our 3rd child. We have 4 children that I love dearly, but my wife, who's a saint, finally said after the 3rd one that I was going to have to cut back a little bit. So I got out of coaching basketball, so I'd have a little bit of a break between football and baseball. But I loved coaching all 3 sports. When I wanted to pursue becoming a head football coach, I had been a head baseball coach prior to that at Gilmer High School. I got out of coaching baseball as I pursued a head football position. And once I got a head football position, I actually went back to coaching baseball as an assistant at the school where I was the head football coach, and that was still a lot of fun. And so I just love coaching, but football was the position that I really wanted to be.
Mm-hmm. And one more question, then we'll move on to this year. How is it like having your son as the offensive coordinator and you being the offensive guy?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I've really enjoyed working with my son. I don't know if he would say that or not. We probably could make a lot of money if you recorded our conversations on a Friday night on the headsets. But, I got a chance to coach him, and I was probably too hard on him. But I enjoyed my time coaching my son, and it's been great having him with me and our staff, and I think he does a great job, and I know he does a great job, and it's just fun to be able to work with your son. And as a teacher, all my children went to the same high school that I was working at, and that was a lot of fun, being able to see my daughters. I have 3 daughters, to see them on every day, and a lot of fun. And again, I don't know if they liked it, but I sure liked it as their dad. But it's been good. We've worked together now for 8 years, my son and I have. So
that's
been
pretty
good.
Cool.
Yeah.
How did Gilmer football do this year?
We had a great year. I think each time when you look back and evaluate a season, I think one of the first things that you need to look at is, were you able to maximize all the potential, which is a word that I usually don't like to use, potential, but were you able to maximize all the resources that you had? And I thought this year we certainly did. I thought our young men had a great year, had a lot of adversity that we had to deal with. Starting early in the season, we had some, first game of the year, big rival game gets canceled and moved to Saturday. That was that was an adverse situation. We start the season off with a muffed kick, and you think, oh my goodness, where are we going from here? But I really couldn't be more proud of these kids this year, especially our seniors, on how they carried themselves, performed, overcame a lot of adversity. We played a really tough schedule, which actually helped us get into the playoffs. We had some pretty significant injuries as we went through the season, which really for a lesser team would have caused them to kind of fold up, and this group would not do that. So that's when I say we had a great year. Our kids played and did as good as we could given the situation. Now, that being said, I don't regret us playing a tough schedule. As long as I'm the head football coach, we'll play a really tough non-region schedule because I think that helps us as we get into the region schedule. I think it's evident, all 4 of our teams in the non-region all made the playoffs that we played in non-region. One of them just got beat in the quarterfinals, Fannin. One still playing in the semifinals, and that happens to be a region opponent, Calhoun. But everybody on our schedule except for 2 teams made the playoffs. So 8 out of the 10 opponents were all playoff teams. And so that's a tough schedule. But again, that did help us get us a playoff spot. But very proud. Thought our kids did a great job. And we were a couple inches away from playing in the second round, which is a credit to our kids and our coaches. I'm very blessed. I try to stay out of everybody's way, but we got a great coaching staff, and I thought they did a wonderful job this year too.
While you just mentioned it, do you have any coaches you'd like to say anything about?
Well, the entire staff, in order to have a successful season, to have a successful program, the first thing is you got to have support from the top. And we got a great superintendent. Dr. Ridley has been so supportive. In the building, you got to have a principal and administration, athletic director, Mr. Johnson, that are supportive of all athletics. And I couldn't have asked for a better situation. The support that we get is second to none. Then the next thing you got to have is great community support. And I'm going to tell you, Gilmer County has got it. Our support is unbelievable. Our booster club is phenomenal. I'm going to be honest with you, the reason why I even looked at this job 4 years ago was about 10 years ago I came to scout Gilmer. We were going to play possibly Gilmer in a playoff game. And we went to a game, and the support that was there by Gilmer fan base was phenomenal. And it struck me, I said, golly, look at the support. And it was a road game. It wasn't home. It was over in Dalton. And that stuck in the back of my mind, so I knew there was great community support. But then get to our coaches. Our administration has allowed me to hire several of these men that are here, and they are outstanding men, role models, great teachers. They're great coaches, but more importantly, they're great men and great teachers. And every guy's got his expertise on our staff, and they are great with the kids, and we're just very fortunate. So we wouldn't be where we were at this point in our 4-year journey here in our football program without our coaching staff and the guys that we have.
And on to our next question. What's the main plan to make Gilmer football better next year?
Well, we're going to continue the course. In order to continue improving and getting better, we've got to continue doing what we're doing. But one of the key things that I really want is we've got to increase our numbers of participation in football. We have done that when I took the job and I had our first meeting, we had 23 kids there. And I went home that night and told my wife, I said, I think I might have made a mistake because it was only 23 boys showed up for the team meeting. But that did change, and I credit that to our very first senior class. There was only 5 of them, but they did a nice job of kind of keeping everything together. But each year we've added the numbers, but we've got to add numbers. And so we've got to recruit the halls. So if anybody sees this interview or hears this interview, and any young man that would be interested in wanting to play football, and I think have a great experience, of course you can attest to this, we'd love to have you. We're an all-inclusive organization.
Yeah.
The only thing that excludes anybody is the work that we put in. And it's not something that can't be done, but there is a lot of work. There's a huge commitment, but I do believe the rewards are great. And so what do we have to do? We've got to continue our journey in the weight room, which our strength has gone through the roof with our strength coach, Jeff Nelson, Coach Standard, and Coach Nolan, Roger Nolan. They've done a great job in the weight room. And then we've got to continue developing our players. And I must say one other thing too, when it goes back to the coaching staff. The real key to our current success that we've had and what will happen in the future is what's going on at our middle school. The first coach I interviewed when I took the job was Coach Willie Dodaro, because I knew that the key to any football program is your feeder program. And he and his staff have been unbelievable. You and all the current players on our team all played for Coach D and his staff at Clear Creek. And what they've done is phenomenal. And I think I know we've got the best middle school program in this area. I mean, it's evident by their success, but more importantly, by the kids they send us. They're prepared and ready. So, that's what we've got to continue to do, is continue the course, but we've got to increase our numbers. That's big for us.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about what a off season looks like?
Sure. The first thing is, unlike some places, we don't do a lot of football after the last game because I want all of our kids to be involved in other sports and activities. I think it's important. I think you need to learn how to compete in other arenas. So we've got several guys that are wrestling. We've got some basketball players. Then I know in the spring we've got several baseball, track, and soccer players that I think it's so important that a young person who wants to play athletics do as much as they can and not, I hate to hear the word specialize because I really think they're missing out on some great experiences. So what do we do in the off season? We work in that weight room 5 days a week to include our conditioning and our agility program. We will do some meetings with our skill guys, especially the quarterbacks, and then in April we will start throwing a little bit with our quarterbacks. But between now and then, we don't need to do any football. They need to be competing in other areas. And the other part of that equation is that they got to continue to compete, and that's the right word, compete in the classroom, trying to be the best they can be. Our GPA this year is currently the highest it's been in my 4 years, and we still need to get it better than it is, but I've been pleased with it. And so a kid, if you're a football player, you're a football player year-round. We don't do football year-round, but the accountability of what you do in the classroom and your other sports and the weight room is really important to our success in football.
Yes, sir. If you have anything else to say, you can go ahead. Oh, wait, I do have one more question.
Sure.
At the beginning of the year, a lot of people ask some of the football players, why do we scrimmage that week before the first game while everybody else scrimmages that week
Right
I got
before.
you.
All right, the reason why we scrimmage and have a week off, and I've always done that, doesn't make it right or smart, but the reason why we do that is because two things. Number one, if we were to have a player get injured, you may get a chance to get him back before the first game because you got a week off. And secondly, one of our jobs as coaches is that we got to make sure we got all the players in the right spot, all the pieces of the puzzle in the right place. Well, sometimes Maybe we don't have a young man in the right position. So let's say we have to make a change. It's not the norm, because you'd like to think we've done that all summer, because we've worked really hard in the summer doing all that. But if we had to make a change, you got a week to kind of teach that kid his new position before we go to game week. But the biggest reason is that if you get somebody banged up in the scrimmage, you got a week off that he can get healed up before we go to game week. And that's the biggest reason. And we only have, if you do spring practice, which we do, which I think is so important, you can only have one scrimmage. So some schools do 2 scrimmages, but they didn't do spring practice. Spring practice for us is really important for our new 9th graders coming in and for all of our guys that didn't have varsity experience last year. I'm going to use an example, one of our returning seniors, Sam Jones, Austin Green, those are Jack Puckett, 3 outstanding offensive linemen that are going to be 3-year, well, Sam Jones will be a 4-year starter for us. I really don't need to know what they can do. I know what they can do. I need to know what the incoming 9th grade and the rising 10th grade players, what they can do. And that gives us a chance to work with them. I mean, those guys will be at spring, but the emphasis will be on the younger players. So that's why we do spring practice.
Yep. If you have anything else to add?
We know nothing other than my family and I are very blessed that we're here in Gilmer County. We love living in LJ. We love this school. It's a great community. And we're just looking forward to continuing getting our football program staying on the right track, continuing and building on the successes that we've had, and just seeing how far we can go each year with our young men. But we're very excited, and I'm ready to go back to work. I know our boys need some time off, but the staff will continue to work all year.
Yep. We appreciate having you, and thank you for coming out.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate y'all and what this program is doing, and it's awesome for our school in all areas, so thanks.
Thank you.